Hey everybody, I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Hope you're all having a pleasant weekend out there. I'm having a very enjoyable, relaxing Saturday. Haven't done a whole lot of anything so far. Hey, appreciate the words of encouragement. I mentioned in the last video that I'm working on a book and I'm getting my thoughts together, and I appreciate all the encouraging words I got on that. That helps a lot, and it kind of gives me that little bit more of a push I needed just to make sure that I'm going to do it. So, yeah, I've been making some notes, doing a little outlining this weekend, and I will continue to do that. Today's video I started thinking about a couple of days ago, and then I just kind of impromptu decided to hop in the car and go to Pensacola yesterday. So had some time in the car. I do a lot of my thinking when I'm in the car. I get stuff in my head and let it percolate around a little bit. So today I want to talk about the value of being kind. Guys, if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I'd really appreciate it if you'd go down and hit that subscribe button and come back and maybe check out a little bit more of my content. I think about this a good bit. It's kind of a personal thing for me because, I spend so much time by myself that I've been thinking a lot lately. I think you lose a little something when you spend as much time by yourself as I do. You lose a little bit of your humanity. You just kind of become a little bit more in your own world. A lot of times I find myself, it's not that I'm being unkind or I'm not being nice, it's just that I can be very detached because I'm just used to being by myself all the time. And people are always like, oh yeah, I know what you mean. And no, you probably don't know what I mean. And if you do, maybe we should form a club and get a little commune together and exist together. No, probably for the last 3 years, I've spent, and I'm probably being conservative here, at least 90% of my waking hours by myself. And like I say, you just lose a little something when you don't get that regular interaction between other people. Found it, and like I normally do, after that percolated in my head a little bit, I came home and started searching the subject and read a couple of articles on it. So I've got a couple that I want to share with you today. This first one is called and I'll try to put the links to these down in the description below. This first one, the title of it is How the Power of Kindness Impacts Your Life and Others, by a gentleman named Tony Fahkry, Fahkry. Can you recall a time somebody was kind to you? Now change the scenario and think of a time you were kind to another person. Call to mind their reaction and how you responded. Move into your heart and notice the feelings there. If you read no further than this point, you should know that kindness affects the user and the experiencer, leaving a lasting impression on both. In this fast-paced world, kindness and compassion take a backseat to selfies, self-interest, and expendable human interactions. Every person is waiting to be discovered or become rich, believing it holds the key to their happiness. Yet when they attain success, they long for their former life, having underestimated the trappings of fame and celebrity. I enjoy the quote by Professor of Environmental Studies and Politics, David W. Orr. The plain fact is that the planet does not need more successful people, but it does desperately need more peacemakers, healers, restorers, storytellers, and lovers of every kind. It needs people who live well in their places. It needs people of moral courage willing to join the fight to make the world habitable and humane. All these qualities have little to do with success as we have defined it. Kindness is fundamental to the human existence. We are thrust into the world as newborns and enriched with the kindness of our parents, nurturing for the ensuing years. Humans are the only mammals with a prolonged gestation period. Other creatures rely on support for a brief time before becoming self-reliant. We are powerless at birth and depend on our caregivers to provide for our needs. Therefore, kindness is sewn into the framework of our DNA. We are literally wired for kindness. Every person has opinions on how to improve the world, though no one wants to practice kindness in their own backyard. Quote by Mark Twain, "Kindness is a language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see." World peace will not arise from overthrowing dictatorial powers or ending conflicts between nations. It will happen when humanity raises its consciousness beyond that of fear and hatred. I've often repeated that peace is only a thought away. Its motives emerge through kind thoughts towards oneself and others. Unconditional love flows through specific channels of respect, integrity, purpose, meaning, value, responsibility, forgiveness, kindness, and compassion. And these form the foundation of our new naturally ethical lives, says author and psychotherapist Locke Kelly in Shift into Freedom, the science and practice of open-hearted awareness. Kindness is not something that demands hard work. It originates from the simple act of doing no harm to others. It involves judging less, however compelled you might be to do so. The ego is quick to judge when it is victimized and hurt, so it retaliates in revenge. Let me read that one to you again. That one hit me hard too. The ego is quick to judge when it is victimized and hurt, so it retaliates in revenge. Kindness, however, bites its tongue. It does not seek to be right, but to preserve peace of mind. You gain little by giving someone a piece of your mind other than inciting conflict and separation, and we all know this, but it's hard. It's hard to do that. It was the Lebanese-born poet Khalil Gibran who wrote, "I have learnt silence from the talkative, toleration from the intolerant, from the talkative, toleration from the intolerant, and kindness from the unkind. Yet strange, I am ungrateful to those teachers." It might be clear to you that fighting force with force is not the way towards peace. But you might ask, does that mean allowing others to treat me unfairly? No, not by any means. Though you needn't retaliate with overwhelming force, I'm not implying you become a doormat. However, I urge you to accept the lessons contained within the experience. Are you letting others treat you unfairly on some level, or unconsciously giving them permission to do so? No matter how anyone responds to your kindness, just by repeating out loud the words you didn't hear often enough or never heard at all, you guarantee yourself to be the one who exits each scene of life more healed, aligned, and expanded than the moment before, affirms author Matt Kahn in Whatever Arises. Love that. A love revolution that begins with you. Benefits of kindness. Kindness has many benefits, including increased happiness and a healthy heart. It slows down the aging process and improves relationships and connections, which indirectly boost your health. People believe kindness is particular to those of religious faith because of their moral vows. Kindness does not require you to be of religious faith or even spiritual. Demonstrations of kindness are observed in man's best friend, the dog. Cats also show kindness and are treasured for their emotional connection. Kindness broadens your life's frame of reference and is a symbol of respect to value the receiver. It influences the giver more than the receiver and has correlations with enhanced mental, emotional, and physical well-being. Considering approximately 70% of our body is made up of water, kindness has a direct impact on our immediate health. Through the 1990s, the late Dr. Masaru Emoto performed a series of experiments examining the effects of words, prayers, music, and environment on the crystalline structures of water. He noted when kind and loving words were conveyed to the water, they formed a complete crystal structure compared to energies of hate and anger. People believe kindness signifies weakness and being taken advantage of. It's important to delineate between kindness and being a doormat to others. You can be kind and assertive when others attempt to profit from your kindness. You should in no way undermine your self-worth at the expense of others, but simply practice kindness while upholding your integrity. It's no surprise wicked acts have a greater impression on us than acts of kindness. We are alerted to fear more than goodness. Psychologists believe we are wired to detect that which threatens our survival and happiness. We give attention to acts of cruelty in the news because it is perceived as a threat to our survival. Hurt is hurt, and every time we honor our own struggle and the struggles of others by responding with empathy and compassion, the healing that results affects us all, avows author and social researcher Brené Brown in Rising Strong. I wish to leave you with a passage from Mother Teresa's poem entitled Anyway, in which she states, "People are often unreasonable, illogical, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. Incorporate the smallest acts of kindness into your everyday life and notice the ripple effects. The butterfly effect in chaos theory asserts that a tiny event in one region of the globe can have a substantial effect somewhere else. Armed with this knowledge, it is the Dalai Lama who reminds us that if you can't be kind, avoid harming others. And I got another little really short one for you. It's called The Importance of Being Kind. This one I really liked, and it was very short and to the point. When I asked let me skip down a little bit. Always be kind. Your actions have a bigger impact than you might realize. This mantra applies to both business and social situations. We have all heard the quote, people may not remember what you said or what you did, but they will always remember how you made them feel. Man, that is so true. A lot of these things sound kind of cliche-ish, but they're very, very true when we think back to, certain events. Some lessons I've learned about kindness over the years. Everyone is affected by an act of kindness. Kindness is contagious, and you never know just how big of an impact a small gesture of kindness can have. Kindness improves our quality of life in the workplace as well as in the community. It brings people together. Doing good for others feels good. Showing kindness to others is just as rewarding as receiving it from someone else. Stop and think before you talk or act. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Remember to laugh throughout the day. Spreading joy is its own act of kindness. Here are some other ways to spread kindness in the workplace. Lead by example. Always remember your manners. Our parents taught us them for a reason. Please make sure to use them. Thank you. Others will follow your lead. Put an end to petty criticism. Remember the saying, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. Try to keep it positive. Welcome new employees with open arms. Take a moment to introduce yourself to new employees and get to know them. This could be said for schools too. Some of you that might still be students, if you're watching, with new students to a school. We've all been the new person at one point or another, so make sure you're doing your part to make them feel welcome and part of the team. After all, they may be the future of our company and our next Goodwill ambassadors. Recognize one another's strengths, not weaknesses. A pat on the back can go a long way. I have never met a person that doesn't like to feel appreciated. Be kind to others. Always remember that even though you may work in a different department, we're all in this together. Now is your moment. Spread a little joy. Make a difference in someone's day. And remember to always be kind. Now I'm a little bit more on top of this whole thing, obviously, when I'm out of the house. And I've got the basics down. I smile at the checkout counter. But yesterday, I tried to go that little bit of extra effort, like, a couple of people, instead of going on and moving away, I waited to hold a door open for somebody when they had their arms full. I made sure that I looked a couple of people in the eyes and smiled when I said thank you to them. And I just noticed, I wasn't like an asshole back in the day. I wouldn't say I was an angry person. I wouldn't say I was a rude person, but I could be a little bit short with people. And I could kind of have a chip on my shoulder sometime, and sometimes I'd just be in a bad mood and I'd let it show. And I just noticed over the past years, how the different ways people react to me just when I'm out and about and I'm smiling at people and I'm being sincerely, genuine and saying thank you and saying please and just showing basic kindness. It's not making me some sort of a great human being, and it's not taking some huge amount of effort. But it's the simple things in life. We all have the problems of the world. We all get into this deep stuff and, like I say, solving problems. But a lot of small problems can be solved with just these small gestures and how we treat and how we interact with people on a daily basis. So anyhow, hope y'all enjoyed that one today. This one went a little bit longer than usual, but hope you'll forgive me on that. If you like this one, please give me a thumbs up. Maybe share it. And I'll see you soon. Peace.